Alrighty, folks, we should have it there. Good evening. Welcome to the Myrtle Beach Speedway for race number 6 of the Chestnut Hill Late Model Stock Series. Live here on True Sim Productions. I am your host from the WD Broadcasting Network on Facebook, Winston Deal. We are qualifying right now at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. We'll get the times up on the left side of the screen. Well, we'll try to at least. It was working right before I started, all the way up until I started, and all of a sudden not willing to work now. Not sure what the deal is, but we'll get timing and scoring figured out. Try to at least. Right now, Brandon and Elvis on lap number 2. Quick time in the number 54 machine. Running a throwback to one of his dad's old race cars that he ran at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. Still trying to get the timing and scoring up. Not sure why it happens like this, but for some reason it does. Looked like it wanted to work there for a minute, but still not looking like it's up on our screen. We're going to try and just add a new source and see if that works, but nonetheless, still a little bit left to go here. Last night's winner in the Barry Elvis Performance and Fabrication Super Series, Justin Coleman on track. We're going to try and get the timing and scoring mess figured out. See if we can get it to pop up there. For some reason not wanting to work, but regardless, Justin Coleman completing his qualifying run. There we go. Finally, you guys can see the times. Justin Coleman went second quick on that second lap. Zach Murphy third. Brandon Elvis still at the top of the board. Dalton Creech fourth in the 36. Connor Lee rounds out the top 5. Brian Voss in the 96 this week. Running a throwback scheme here tonight at Myrtle Beach. Throwing it back to a good friend of a couple of the drivers here in the All-Star Racing League. Currently having a battle with cancer, unfortunately. But throwing it back to Sam Scarpelli, driver of the 96 machine. Brian Voss going to be rolling off from the 6th spot here tonight. As for some reason, still the grid is up on the right side of the screen. I'm sorry, Brandon, you'll watch this tomorrow and see it. But regardless, starting lineup here tonight, Brandon Elvis on the pole in the 54. Justin Coleman second in the 14, last night's winner. Zach Murphy going to roll off third in the 29. He finished third last night. Dalton Creech going to roll off fourth. The birthday boy in the 36 today. Connor Lee rolls off fifth in the number 8. Brian Voss going to be 6th in the 96. Row number 4, Brad Carpenter in the 31, then Adam Fulford in the 71. Brandon Kelly in the 9 car, going to start 9th with David Rogers to his outside in the 13. Justin Elvis and Kevin Prettyman going to make up row number 6. Back behind them, Jeffrey Miller, Owen Zacharias, and Scotty Oliver going to round out our 15-car starting lineup. But it'll be Brandon Elvis leading us to the green. Justin Coleman to his outside as well. The field is getting ready. Elvis electing to take that outside line on this initial start, it looks like. Field making their way through turns 1 and 2. Brandon Elvis, Justin Coleman, Zach Murphy, Dalton Creech. They're going to get the white flag right here. 1 lap until we get this 150 lap event underway. See the lights off on the iRacing.com pace car. We are getting ready to send them away. Justin Coleman, last night's winner, going to start on the inside of row number 1. Your pole sitter, Brandon Elvis, he finished 2nd last night. These guys flipping spots a little bit right here, but we will see what they have as they make their way through turns 3 and 4 into the Coleman Designs restart zone. And the green flag is going to fly. We are underway here at Myrtle Beach. Through turns 1 and 2, down the back straightaway they go. Justin Coleman's going to have the advantage through the first set of corners. Oh, way up the track he goes into turns 3 and 4. Oh, hard contact. Zach Murphy up into the wall hard in the 29. I am not sure what happened right there, but big time contact for the 29 of Murphy. We'll take one more look at it right here to see if we can find out what exactly happened. Get a better look on the exit of turns 3 and 4 right here. You see Coleman way up the racetrack. It looks like just up the racetrack in a vicious impact with the outside wall right there. A lot of damage on the 29 machine. 36 of Dalton Creech has got some pretty heavy front end damage as well. We're going to watch that first initial green flag back as well. On the restart, we'll see what exactly happened. I think Justin Coleman might have went wide and it turns 3 and 4 on purpose. Kind of looked like he just missed the corner. We'll watch right here going into turns 3 and 4. Yeah, just up the racetrack. But Brandon Elvis going to be the leader. He nearly got clipped right there in the 14. Just about got tagged. We'll get one more view of this on board with the 29. This is in the 3 and 4. You see Coleman way up the racetrack and just up, and whoo! You see the 14 zip by right there. Narrowly avoided that contact. But up front, it will be Brandon Elvis leading on lap number 4. Elvis going to assume the race lead. Coleman led into turns 1 and 2, but gave that spot up. And now Brandon Elvis takes back the race lead. Going to start on the bottom side this time. But the lights are off on the iRacing.com pace car. It makes its way down pit road Gonna send the field back to green flag racing here as they make their way through the Coleman Design restart zone in the hands of Brandon Elvis. He goes early. Big jump there for the 54. Green flag is back out. We're back underway. Brian Voss in the 96 around the outside of Connor Lee on that restart right there through turns 1 and 2. He's going to take the 3rd spot. Meanwhile, Justin Coleman into the back bumper of Elvis. Elvis spins up the track. Big time problems on the exit of turns 3 and 4. Brandon Elvis involved. Brian Voss involved as well. And that is not what Brandon Elvis wanted to see after that restart. He had a big gap going into turns 1 and 2, and it looks like that car is driving a little bit sideways, so he's going to have to come down pit road and get a fast repair, but another huge impact. So we'll try and get another look of what exactly happened right there. See if we can find a view right here. Just a big time bump right there. So we'll go back to the drop of the green right here and to get another view of it. Yeah, just the bumper and nowhere for Brian Voss, Connor Lee. Those guys right there on the outside lane, absolutely nowhere for them to go. They were all bunched up in a pack. But a big-time issue for your points leader, Brandon Elvis. But back live, Brad Carpenter going to be the race leader after all the chaos. He started in the 7th spot. Owen Zacharias started 14th. He's up to 3rd in the 35. So everything is jumbled up, and we are only 10 laps in. It's like we've inverted the field. Your fastest qualifiers back in 10th and 11th, respectively. But the lights are off. And the pace car is down to the safety of pit road. And it's going to be Brad Carpenter and David Rogers leading us back to the green flag. Try this restart again through the Coleman Design restart zone. The green is up and the green is back out. Carpenter gets the early advantage into turns 1 and 2 right there. Rogers going to slot back into 2nd. Everybody trying to settle in as quickly as they can. The field kind of mixed up, though. Owen Zacharias in the 35 had some trouble off the corner right there. It's going to open the door for Brandon Kelly in the 9. Trying to make his way underneath Justin Elvis in the 44. Elvis running up in the 4th spot right now. Started 11th in this race. Zacharias in the wall in the 35. Elvis going to slingshot up to the inside and take the spot in turns 1 and 2. Move Justin Elvis up into the 3rd spot. So here comes Zach Murphy involved in that lap 1 incident. Trying to pilot his way back up into the top 5. Dalton Creech up on the outside in the 36. Still got some front end damage from that earlier incident. But through turns 1 and 2 again right here. Kelly getting the advantage over Zacharias in the 35. Way up the track. We're 3 wide up off the corner. Dalton Creech in the middle of Justin Coleman and Owen Zacharias. Meanwhile, Zach Murphy trying to get around Brandon Kelly in the 9. battling all over inside the top 5 right here. Ooh, the 35 up the racetrack right there. Going to lose a couple spots right here. Jeffrey Miller trying to go to the inside as well. Meanwhile, Justin Coleman, into the back bumper of Brandon Kelly. Coleman up the racetrack over the curbs right there. He's going to lose the spot to Dalton Creech. Here comes Adam Fulford as well. As Dalton Creech trying to move up into the top 5. He's got Brandon Kelly working to his outside. Looks like he's going to be nearly clear up out of turns 3 and 4. But still up front, Brad Carpenter, your race leader. Him and David Rogers have pulled out to about a second ahead of Justin Elvis. Rogers trying to take the lead from Carpenter. He looks to the inside right here. David Rogers trying to go for the top spot. 20 laps in, we're battling for the lead. Brad Carpenter trying to hold that bottom lane down. Rogers going to tuck back into line for now. He had a big run into turns 1 and 2 that last time around. So the 13 definitely applying the pressure here early on. Again, Rogers closes through the center of the corner. Got a car length separating the two right now. As we check back in on this battle for the 5th spot, Justin Coleman has gotten around Adam Fulford. He's trying to set his sights on Dalton Creech in the 36. Things starting to settle down here at Myrtle Beach, but up front, heating back up. David Rogers is closing that gap right there on the back bumper of Brad Carpenter through turns 3 and 4. We are 25 laps in out of 150 here at Myrtle Beach. Rogers again up on the back bumper. Not able to get that run off, though. Very hard to pass here at Myrtle Beach, especially in these late model stock cars. As Rogers kind of fallen off a little bit in the 13. The gap's starting to open up as Zach Murphy is reeled in the 44 of Justin Elvis. Battle is on for the 3rd spot. Murphy trying to get around Justin Elvis for the 3rd position. He's going to look low off turns 3 and 4. Not able to get the run, though. Right there on the back bumper is Zach Murphy. Still trying to put the pressure on. Murphy through turns 1 and 2 that last lap around. Elvis was just a little bit quicker. These two, the fastest on the racetrack by a couple of tenths of a second. Murphy, the fastest car that last time. Up front, though, Brad Carpenter still continuing to lead these second two cars. Justin Elvis and Zach Murphy, they're starting to reel in the 13 of David Rogers a little bit. That gap's close to about 0.8 of a second. Things definitely starting to heat up. Murphy putting the pressure on, trying to find a spot where he can get a run underneath the 44. Really takes a lot to set up a pass here. You got to put together a good sequence of corners to get a run on that guy's back bumper. Murphy going to cut low off of 4 once again. Does he have the run right here? He's going to peek the nose to the inside. Here comes Zach Murphy. He's got a fender in there. He is door-to-door with the 44 machine down the back straightaway. Zach Murphy in the Coleman Design number 29 machine. Up the racetrack a little bit. The 44 going to move up. Who's going to have the spot at the line? Give it to the 29. Can Murphy get clear of Justin Elvis here? Out of turns 1 and 2. Give the advantage to the 29 of Murphy, but not by much. Elvis trying to power around the long way in the 44. It looks like into turns 1 and 2 this time. Zach Murphy going to be out and clear. Move Murphy up to the 3rd spot. And he is now going to set his sights on your front two, Brad Carpenter and David Rogers. Carpenter got about a 0.4 of a second advantage. Murphy about 1.1 seconds back from Brad Carpenter. But if we look back through the field, running in the 11th spot right now, quite a ways back from your race leader, Brandon Elvis. He's got Brian Voss in tow. They're about 9.5 seconds back, but involved in that last incident. Yeah, they were involved in that last incident on lap 6. We've been green since then. But we are 42 laps in when Brad Carpenter gets back around. Brandon Elvis still in that 11th spot. Back 10 from where he started on the pole. We'll see what he can do throughout the remainder of the event. But we are 43 laps in here on True Sim Productions at Myrtle Beach Speedway. We're going to take a quick step away, but you're not going to miss a thing here on our WD Broadcasting Network side-by-side screen. are back here on True Sim Productions. The battle heating up for the race lead here. David Rogers starting to close that gap a little bit. Zach Murphy still back in the third spot. Lap 50 mark right here for Brad Carpenter in the 31. He's had Rogers in tow the whole time. He's been able to keep consistent in that 31 machine. Owen Zacharias leaving the pits a couple laps down in the 35. Came down pit road on lap 47. Might have been damage on the 35. Not quite sure what exactly happened on that machine. Brandon Kelly up the racetrack, giving way to Connor Lee right there. Move Connor Lee up inside the top 10. He started 5th in this one, involved in that previous incident. As looks like problems for Brandon Kelly in the 9, bringing it down pit road. Not sure if it's a fuel stop or what's going on, but Brandon Kelly in the 9 machine was running in the 10th spot, coming down pit road as you see your race leaders going around right there. I think Brandon Kelly might be calling it a night in the 9 machine. Heads down pit road. Looks like he's going to be out of this one. So tough break for the 9 of Brandon Kelly. But up front still, Brad Carpenter setting the pace. He's got a couple car lengths still over second place David Rogers. Zach Murphy starting to creep up into frame though, trying to make this a three car race for the lead. We'll see if he has anything for your front 2 cars. Last lap around, just a little bit quicker than your race leader. Look at the times that last lap. Slightly quicker was Zach Murphy. Him and Justin Coleman, one of the faster cars on the racetrack. Actually, Connor Lee was the fastest car. Owen Zacharias a little bit quicker, but came down pit road. Looks like he got some new tires on that machine. But Carpenter in the 31 still showing the way here. Murphy's really starting to close in on the back bumper of David Rogers. This would be huge if Zach Murphy could pick up his first victory of this season. 4th in points right now, 53 points back. As we are nearly 60 laps in here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. A couple cautions early on, but since then we have had the green flag ever since. Because look at that, Zach Murphy really starting to close in right there. David Rogers slips up a little bit in turns 3 and 4, and Zach Murphy is right there on his back bumper. Starting to put the pressure on now. Into turns 1 and 2 right here. We'll see if Murphy can put a move on. Try and grab that second spot. Your front 3 cars, big gap back to Justin Elvis, and Justin Coleman right there as well. There's 3 cars up front trying to battle for the race lead. Zach Murphy's done a tremendous job tracking down these front 2. Murphy right there on the back bumper once again. Not quite able to get a run built up to sneak that thing to the bottom side of the racetrack. He's got a good run here. We'll see if he can get it done on the exit of the corner. Rogers slides up a little bit. Can Zach Murphy put the pressure on into turns 1 and 2? Very close right there. Less than a car length between the two now. Oop, Rogers up the racetrack a little bit on the entry. Is that going to open the door for Zach Murphy? Here comes Zach Murphy in the 29 machine. Going to dive to the bottom side. Zach Murphy underneath David Rogers side by side into turns 3 and 4. Through the center of the corner. Murphy with the advantage up off. Rogers trying to hang tight up on the top side. But Murphy is going to be clear on the exit of turns 1 and 2 right here. Nearly clear. Rogers rolling back on the high side, hanging on the quarter right there. Trying to keep that momentum wound up. We'll see if he can get a run. But looks like Zach Murphy going to get clear. Move Zach Murphy up to the second spot. Just shy of halfway in this one. Brad Carpenter still your race leader after he took the lead back on lap 6. About 5 laps shy of halfway. Some lap traffic up in front of your leaders. Kevin Prettyman, Jeffrey Miller starting to creep into view. This time around, we'll tick off 70 laps in. Carpenter still up front, your race leader. Zach Murphy trying to track him down into the, or in the 29. You look back on Brandon Elvis, he's gotten around Connor Lee and has made his way up inside the top 10, currently sitting in the 8th spot. Next car for him to pass up in front, Adam Fulford in the 71, about a second and a half up in front of Brandon Elvis. Just shy of halfway. Brad Carpenter through turns 3 and 4. Lap 74 right here. They'll see the cross flags next time by. Zach Murphy closing that gap a little bit, about 3 car lengths the difference down the back straightaway. Murphy is definitely right there. Cross flags are up halfway in, halfway home. Brad Carpenter, your USA Firearms halfway leader. We are officially halfway here at Myrtle Beach. 2 car lengths the difference up front for the race lead. Zach Murphy has reeled in that 31 car. Trying to take the top spot away. Back and forth these two go on lap times. One lap it's Zach Murphy up on top, then it's Brad Carpenter the next. That last time, Carpenter just the slightest bit quicker in the 31. Approaching 80 laps in. The laps are going to start to tick away quick once we hit that lap 100 mark. Justin Coleman in the 14 machine, currently running in the 5th spot, trying to track down Justin Elvis in the 44. Dalton Creech right there in the 6th spot, recovering from that early incident with Zach Murphy. Brandon Elvis right there on the back bumper underneath Adam Fulford. Fulford up the racetrack. Give the 7th spot to Brandon Elvis. Brian Voss going to try and follow suit as well in the 96. If you look right there, up in front of Brandon Elvis, Dalton Creech right there as well. As Creech up the racetrack, Elvis going to try and get another car right here, move Brandon Elvis back up into the 6th spot. And he'll set his sights on Justin Coleman in the 14. When we look back up front, race leader Brad Carpenter's got some company on the back bumper. Murphy's starting to close that gap. Right there on the back bumper now. Less than a car length between the two. The battle is on for the race lead here on lap 85. Zach Murphy going to try and take the top spot away. They've got about almost 2 seconds back to David Rogers in the 13 car. But Brad Carpenter trying to hang on. Murphy has tracked him down from a ways back in the 29. He got around Justin Elvis and David Rogers and made his way up to the back bumper. Can he make the pass for the lead? Across the stripe that time, inside of 0.2 of a second. Right there is Zach Murphy. Trying to find his way back to victory lane. Has not won this season in the Barry Elvis Performance and Fabrication Super Series or the Chestnut Hill Late Model Stock Series. He's got a lot of speed right there on the back bumper of the 31. Murphy's starting to peek to the inside. Can he make the move into turns 1 and 2? Looks like he's going to send it on the bottom. Murphy down low, trying to take the race lead into turns 3 and 4. Carpenter strong on the outside, though, trying to hold that position. Murphy on the bottom, using every bit of real estate that they can get. Carpenter still staying strong up top. Murphy down low, trying to get that run. Looks like Carpenter nearly going to be clear into turns 3 and 4. Murphy got to get that front end rotated and the power down. Looks like Carpenter able to hold him off for now. Brad Carpenter in the 31 machine using that outside lane. Kept his foot in the floor and did not give that spot up to Zach Murphy. Murphy going to fall back a little bit and try and set this pass up once again. Approaching that lap 100 mark. And that's when things are really going to start to heat up. It's going to be crunch time for these guys. Once again, Murphy right there on the back bumper. He's got to run down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4 right here. A run to the inside. Murphy trying to take the top spot once again. Into turns 1 and 2 right here. The 29 pulls alongside of the 31. Carpenter keeping the power down on the outside, though. has the advantage into turns 3 and 4. Out of turns 3 and 4 right here. Give it to Carpenter once again. 96 laps in. As Murphy pulls in front on the exit of turns 1 and 2 right there. Dead even into turns 3 and 4. Zach Murphy starting to pull ahead in the 29 machine. Dead heat at the line. Give it to the 29 on lap 97 of 150. Zach Murphy going to take the race lead, and he is clear on the exit of turns 1 and 2. New leader, Zach Murphy, to the top spot in the 29. 3 laps shy of the halfway mark. Brad Carpenter in the second spot, going to try and keep as close as he can to the 29. Still right there on the back bumper. Both of these drivers fast, but the 29 just a little bit quicker and able to get that advantage on the bottom side. Meanwhile, things starting to heat up between the brothers. Brandon down low, Justin Elvis up top. Move Brandon Elvis back up inside the top 5. Justin Elvis back to the 6th spot. Brian Voss trying to take that spot away as well. Now Brandon Elvis will try to track down Justin Coleman in the 14. Coleman right now in the 4th spot. He's got David Rogers up in front of him. Coleman, the fastest car on the racetrack that last time around. Definitely some speed left in the 14 machine. So we are just past the lap 100 mark. Zach Murphy, your race leader, starting to open up that gap now. You see over half a second on the left side of your screen. Justin Coleman now creeping up on the back bumper of David Rogers. Battle on for the 3rd spot. Justin Coleman creeping up to the back bumper of David Rogers in the 13. Rogers up the racetrack. Coleman going to get that spot with ease through 3 and 4. Move Justin Coleman back up onto the podium. 3rd for Justin Coleman for right now. Brandon Elvis not too far behind in the 54 as well. He's bringing a late charge here. Under 6 seconds back from your leader, Zach Murphy. Up front, Zach Murphy really starting to open up that gap to the back bumper, or to the front bumper of Brad Carpenter. Coleman a couple seconds behind them. In the 14, he's got a lot of ground to make up. Is Brandon Elvis going to make the move underneath David Rogers for 4th? Rogers back to 5th in the 13 machine. But Zach Murphy still your race leader. They're going to come back around to 110 laps in here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. Zach Murphy is your race leader. We're going to step away for another side-by-side here on True Sim Productions. We'll be right back. I'm your host, Winston Deal. Alrighty, folks, we are back with coverage here from Langley. Zach Murphy still your race leader. Second spot, Brad Carpenter, about 2.5 seconds back. And it's another 2 seconds back to Justin Coleman running in the third spot right now. And the laps are starting to run out. 45 to go. Or 35 to go when we get back around. It's a Saturday night feature. Brandon Elvis in the fourth spot trying to track down his teammate Justin Coleman, but Coleman has one of the faster race cars on the track right now. As we look at the times from that last lap, Murphy with a 26, Coleman with a 21. Coleman the fastest car right there that last lap. We'll see if he can track down Brad Carpenter, maybe even Zach Murphy, who's 3 seconds ahead. Gonna take a lot, but still a lot left to unfold. Connor Lee makes his way around David Rogers. Rogers gonna go back to the 13th spot. At one point he was battling with your race leader, Brad Carpenter at the time. He's now 8 seconds back from Zach Murphy. So a lot of fall off for the 13 machine. Definitely overheated those Hoosier tires. Up front, Zach Murphy puts Adam Fulford a lap down. 9 cars left on the lead lap. Brandon Kelly in the 9 machine back out. Fixed whatever the issue was. They brought him down pit road, but he is many, many laps down. Just getting some bonus points out there in the 9. The battle heating up for the second spot. Here comes Justin Coleman to the bottom side. Carpenter up the racetrack. Gonna try to hang on. But Justin Coleman has moved up into the second spot with a full head of steam. He's going to set his sights on Zach Murphy. We'll see if he can track him down. He's quite a ways back, but 30 laps to go. What can Justin Coleman do? Trying to make it 2 for 2 at Myrtle Beach. Who contact there with Adam Fulford. Coleman up to the second spot. Brandon Elvis trying to make his way up to the back bumper of Brad Carpenter. Up front, though, still Zach Murphy showing the way here at Myrtle Beach. We look back behind Justin Elvis, now closing up on David Rogers, trying to put him back one more spot into the 8th position. Elvis to the bottom side, trying to make the run underneath David Rogers. Looks like he's going to get to the bottom right there. Move Justin Elvis into the 7th spot. As up front, oh, Brad Carpenter spun up on the top side of the racetrack, and that is going to change everything here, folks. The caution flag is out. But under caution once again. 3rd time here this evening. Brad Carpenter around in the 31. Take another look at what happened. We see him running by himself. He was running in the 3rd spot. Into turns 3 and 4. Just looks like the back end kind of steps out a little bit. Trying to get that car into the corner. He slides up the racetrack and the caution flag flies. He's able to get it running. No damage on the 31. But the caution flag flies. And pit stops are underway here. You see your top 5 coming down pit road. Zach Murphy going to be the first one to hit his box in the 29. Justin Coleman in the 14. Oh, he slides through his box. Coleman in the 14 goes through the box. He's going to be up on the jacks at the same time as the 54 of Brandon Elvis. We'll see who gets out quicker between the two. Looks like Elvis going to take over the second spot. Zach Murphy able to hang on to the lead. Justin Coleman third. Brian Voss fourth and Connor Lee fifth in the 8 machine. Zach Murphy able to get the lead. Oh, Murphy back down pit road in the 29. Problems for Murphy. He comes back down pit road. Must have had a penalty or something go wrong on the 29 machine. Not sure what happened right there, but Zach Murphy, who was running in the lead, he drove up past Brad Carpenter, got that race lead, comes back down pit road. And what is happening? Left side's going on. The 29 machine must have had a penalty, but problems for the 29 of Murphy. Not what you wanted to see. Brandon Elvis gonna be the race leader after that one. We've got 20 laps to go when they get back around. And everything has just changed here at Myrtle Beach. They look at the lineup on the left side. 9 cars on the lead lap. Coming back to 20 laps to go. Third caution flag. Brandon Elvis is your race leader. And Justin Coleman is second. Alrighty, the pace car is off. It's going to be in the hands of Brandon Elvis and Justin Coleman. Elvis with a big jump there through the Coleman Design restart zone. Ooh, Justin Coleman had trouble getting through the gears, it looks like. We are back green with 19 laps to go. Brian Voss in the third spot. Got a good jump right there. He's on the back bumper of Brandon Elvis, challenging for the lead. Elvis, your race leader right now. Brian Voss wants that spot desperately. Voss, your winner 2 weeks ago at the South Boston Speedway. Trying to pick up win number 2. Coming back to 17 laps to go for Brandon Elvis in the 54. Less than a car length the difference between the two. Justin Coleman right there, and the caution flag is out. David Rogers sitting the wrong way. And we'll see what happened. This is off of turn 4. Rogers was running in the 6th spot, it looks like. Or battling for the 6th spot. And off the corner right here, looks like, oh, just contact with the back bumper. Zach Murphy right there. Into the inside wall. Doesn't look like there's too much damage on the 13. Maybe some on the quarter panel down there, but nothing too troubling, I think. Rogers should be able to continue. But under caution once again for a 4th time here this evening. Elvis is your race leader. Voss second. Coleman third. Justin Elvis 4th. And Dalton Creech 5th. We're going to take a quick step away here on True Sim Productions. We'll be back for our last 15 laps. You won't want to miss it. I'm your host, Winston Deal. Be right back. Alrighty, folks, the pace car is off. Once again, we are going to be through the Coleman Design restart zone. Brandon Elvis, Brian Voss bringing us back to the green. Good jump there from the 96 up top. Brian Voss trying to take the lead. He's on the outside of the racetrack. 11 laps to go. Battle for the lead side by side. Down the back straightaway they go. Brian Voss trying to make the outside lane work here. 10 laps to go. Brandon Elvis, Brian Voss side by side across the stripe. Give it to Voss at the line, but just barely. Elvis trying to fight back on the bottom. Into turns 3 they go. Or into turn 3 they go. Voss trying to fight back on the outside lane. The longer way around, he's going to have the advantage out of turns 3 and 4 right here. He's going to peek ahead a little bit. Elvis trying to do everything he can on the bottom side. Gets a good run there around the curbs on the bottom side of the racetrack. Brian Voss, Brandon Elvis battling here, coming back to 8 laps to go. Voss going to pull ahead. Almost clear into turns 1 and 2. And he's going to shut the door. Brian Voss, your race leader here at Myrtle Beach with 8 laps to go. 8 to go for Brian Voss. The field all right there, bunched up behind him. Not going to let him get away here. Dalton Creech and Justin Elvis battling for the 4th spot. Justin Coleman right there as well in the 14. But all eyes are up front. Can Brandon Elvis get back around Brian Voss in the 50 or in the 96? As we look back behind, Connor Lee trying to get up into the top 5 here. Lee down low in the 8 machine underneath Dalton Creech, who contact there off the corner. As we look back up front, 5 laps to go now for Brian Voss in the 96. Trying to hang on. Brandon Elvis, though, right there on his back bumper. 4 to go. As they continue to battle back behind him. Elvis has some breathing room to Justin Coleman in the 14. But the same cannot be said for the 96 of Brian Voss. He's got Brandon Elvis all over that back bumper. And definitely taking up all the space in his rear view mirror. 3 to go for Voss in the 96. Brandon Elvis right there inside of a car length, trying to do whatever he can to get this victory. 2 laps to go. The popsicle sticks up in the air here at Myrtle Beach. Elvis trying to get back to victory lane. He hasn't won since week number 2 at New Smyrna. The white flag is out. 1 more lap to go here at Myrtle Beach for Brian Voss. Voss in the 96 trying to hang on. 1 more corner for Voss. Elvis in the 54, a couple car lengths back. What does he have? Anything for the 96 through turns 3 and 4. It's going to be Brian Voss picking up the victory here at Myrtle Beach. Brian Voss picking up the victory here tonight at Myrtle Beach. Elvis going to come home second, just 0.18 seconds behind, just over a 10th. Justin Coleman in the 3rd spot. Justin Elvis comes home with a top 5, finishing 4th. And Dalton Creech rounds out your top 5 in the 5th spot. And Brian Voss is going to burn it down here in the 96 machine. And we are going to take a quick step away here on True Sim Productions. 1 more before we grab a word from our top 3 finishers and wrap things up here on True Sim Productions. I'm your host, Winston Deal from the WD Broadcasting Network. We'll be right back. Alrighty, folks, we are back here on True Sim Productions. Going to grab a word from our top 3 finishers, starting with first, our second place finisher, if I can find him somewhere in the broadcast waiting room. But we'll grab a word from our second place finisher, Brandon Elvis, first, I believe. Actually, since Brian Voss is up in the booth waiting for me, we'll grab a word from him first. Up in the booth, Brian Voss, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Got you.
Alrighty, we'll start it in the 6th spot here tonight. You were up inside the top 5 most of the race. Worked your way up after that initial trouble, after that first incident, but worked your way back up through the field. Got lucky on that sequence of pit stops. Ended up in the 3rd spot on the restart. Jumped up ahead of Coleman, and just got good had a good run on the restart. Ended up with the victory. How do you feel?
Oh man, I finally got this win at Myrtle Beach. This is what now our 4th season doing this, and I haven't got to win at Myrtle. This is the home track for a lot of us. Brandon's been getting from me every week, and I really ain't had nothing to race with him with. Tonight, just play some strategy. Really shot ourselves in the foot in qualifying. Should have threw lap 1 and went for lap 2, but didn't want to brush the wall and just not have a good lap like Brandon did last week, unfortunately. But man, can't complain. It fell into our favor. I think we took fuel early, didn't have to wait for that later on, and then that also helped the balance of the car. I think too. Like had plenty of forward bite, a little snug, but it had plenty of drive.
Yeah, it definitely looked like you had a fast number 96 machine here this evening. Is there anybody that you have to thank help get you this victory here tonight?
Yeah, of course, like you guys for doing this, the All-Star League, Brandon, Dalton, Coleman, everybody. So I say it every week like a broken record, but it's evident and true. I mean, the first handful of laps may have been surprising tonight. That was kind of baffling. Don't know what was going on there.
Yeah.
Killed our safety rate, and only I guess you could say with the bonus points, but it all worked out in the end. But I got to thank, of course, my sponsor, Jay Lund with On Tap Dispense Services, for agreeing to let me run this 96 tonight. Got a good friend. A lot of us at Myrtle Beach love the guy. He's going through some tough times. I'm getting choked up here. But it's Sam Scarpelli, the Rain Man. So Swift Services 96, man. Put him in victory lane.
Yes, congratulations to you. I mentioned that earlier in the broadcast, as you said, going through some tough times, and the prayers and all of that from everybody here in the All-Star Racing League going that way. But what a way to send that 96 machine to victory lane here tonight, Brian.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. Sammy, if he watches this back, hopefully he closes his ears. I know he wouldn't improve, but once you know it, we got some damn beer money for the crew, buddy. We celebrating.
Yes, sir. Always got beer money for the crew when Brian Voss is in victory lane. But nonetheless, congratulations to you on your 2nd victory this season. You're 2nd in points right now coming into this evening, 24 points back from Elvis. This is going to boost you just a little bit closer. What do you think you have next week at Nashville Fairgrounds?
Oh man, just got to stay out of trouble. That's the main thing. I think that's really where we capitalized last season. We had a ton of bonus points compared to everyone else, and we were able to set a gap and just had good runs. But the bonus points are huge in this league. Just stay out of trouble. Really got to get my edge back in qualifying. Either we get the pole or go or bust here. We've been getting the pole or qualifying 5th or worse. It's been pretty surprising. So we got to work on some raw speed and just stay out of trouble. I think Nashville, not sure how I'm gonna be there. It's got to lock some laps, get back in the sync of it. But the stretch after that, we're really looking forward to.
Alrighty, well, you and I are about the same in qualifying. You mentioned it right there, either quick time or not even want to talk about. We're about the same. I'm either quick time or somewhere in the middle of the pack. Wishing I didn't click this official race in the first place, but regardless, good luck to you next week.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother.
Well, you can say what you're gonna say. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Brian.
Well, I'll just say, like, this place, I should know like the back of my hand. I got thousands of laps, with the NASCAR racing experience, giving ride-alongs. Like I joked with Brandon, I got a lot of laps going around here, 25 seconds, and then when I ran the late model, of course, it was much faster. But every bump on this place, I should know, and I'd be damn in qualifying. I just went right in there and hit hurdles. Like, what the heck,
Yeah.
Brian? You know better than that.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time. I feel like I've ran 1,000 laps at South Boston, and sometimes I go into an official race, try and make a hot lap on the first lap, and just completely drive in the corner with the rear end first and spin it up into the outside wall. Happens to the best of us.
That's right. We got to work on that. We got to capitalize moving forward. Can't let that happen again.
Yes, sir. Well, congratulations to you on your victory here tonight, Brian. We wish you luck going forward.
Thanks, man. It's also good to run to Brandon too, man. I just got to tell you, that was a blast. Nobody else I'd rather run side by side did with there at the end, and knowing that there might be a little bit of beating and banging, but it's going to be clean racing. So to edge him at Myrtle Beach just felt good, but good to see him finish second to us.
Yes, sir. Congrats, Brian.
Thanks.
Alrighty, folks. That was Brian Voss. Good to have him back up in victory lane. Kind of shocked me when he said it was his first victory at the Myrtle Beach Speedway, and I had to go back and look at the record books, and he has not won at Myrtle Beach. All those races that he won last season did not go to victory lane at Myrtle Beach. As he said, Brandon Elvis snagged that one from him. But now to talk to that man right there, Brandon Elvis, up in the broadcast booth. Brandon, do you got a copy?
Hey, man.
Alrighty, well, second spot here tonight. You got the lead off pit road. Trouble for Zach Murphy in the 29. That incident early definitely put you behind the 8 ball, but we watched you work your way up through the field from the 11th spot. You ended up coming down pit road third and came out with the lead. What happened on that final restart?
Yeah, man. The top was probably preferred, to be honest with you, but Voss timed that restart perfectly, man. He nailed it. I don't know. He's always complaining he never gets the restarts right. Well, he got the good one right tonight, so I'm glad to see him finally get a win at Myrtle Beach. I know he really wants it, and it's really, really cool to see him do it in the Sam Scarpelli throwback car there.
Yeah, definitely a very special victory here tonight. And he said he was glad to finally take one from you here at Myrtle Beach. He said he'd never won here. I look back at the stats. It kind of amazed me because all those races last season. You went to victory lane at Myrtle Beach, of course. Tonight, second place, still a good run for you, though. Who do you have to thank to help get you on the podium once again?
Yeah, man. Justin Coleman Design for giving us this paint. It was an unfortunate deal there at the beginning, but it is what it is. Barry Ellis Performance, Chestnut Hill Restaurant for putting on the league and sponsoring our team, and Coastal Performance, my wife, mom and dad, Shock Out Racing Performance, and you for putting on this broadcast for us. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I do apologize to you right now. I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, so you didn't, give me hell in the morning, but the grid wasn't right, and I accidentally put up the commercial screen with the league stats, I think, up on the screen, so everybody got a flash at the stats, but pretty smooth here tonight, man. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you do it for us, and you do a tremendous job.
Yes, sir. It's always a fun time up here. Tonight was a pretty exciting race. Definitely not what I expected there at the beginning. Definitely threw different dice into the mix, but it was an exciting race, and you managed to work your way back up to the podium.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Congrats, Brandon.
Thank you.
Alrighty, folks. That was Brandon Elvis up in the booth. Don't know if Justin Coleman is available here in Discord tonight, but nonetheless, congratulations to Justin Coleman finishing in the third spot here this evening. But nonetheless, I think that's going to wrap it up for us here at Myrtle Beach. Tomorrow night, going to be back on Facebook on the WD Broadcasting Network for race number 7 of the Leave the Pack iRacing League Street Stock Showdown. A lot of words right there, but regardless, we are going to be heading to the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. See if Justin Coleman can go for 3 victories in a row in that series. But until tomorrow night, you guys have a good rest of your evening. Thank you guys for watching here on True Sim Productions. See you guys next week here on YouTube at Nashville. But until then, I'm your host, Winston Deal, from the WD Broadcasting Network on Facebook, signing off from Myrtle Beach.